Hi, welcome back to Amaka's Advice. Today we are talking about how I lost over 20 pounds in about 2 months. So I was a skinny girl and then ended up gaining like 35 to 40 pounds being in college. I looked like a whole different person. So in December of 2016, my family went back home to Nigeria, and you know how family is. This is the biggest I had ever been at this point. So if someone says you're looking so fat, it's not to insult you, it's just to say, you're looking bigger. It could be a compliment for some people, it could be an insult for others, but it's literally just stating the fact. So one day during the trip, I just had enough. I said, look, self, we're changing. I don't care what it takes. You're in this country with all of this fresh food. This is your moment to really take advantage of it. So I just refused to let the weight defeat me. And I refused to hate my body. And I started working towards it on that trip on vacation in December 2016. So the results when I started taking weight loss more seriously was within less than 3 months. So we came back in December. I'd say by mid-February, I had lost 24 pounds. And thinking about the fact that I lost 24 pounds, but I still wasn't back to my weight when I started college was like, whoa. And to date, I've lost about 28 pounds. I did have, a goal of losing about 5 more, but I think instead I'm going to change that goal to just toning up better. So I'm definitely going to keep maintaining this weight. I've been able to maintain it for about a year now. And just a disclaimer, I am not an expert. I'm not an expert on any of this. This is just what I did to lose weight and how it worked for me, and some tips that sometimes we overlook when we're losing weight because we're so focused on eating a lot of vegetables and working out. But there are some different little tips and tricks that kind of help with your metabolism and, helping you stay on track. So hopefully this can be of service to you as well. Okay, what to cut out? The first thing I did was I cut out soda, I cut out sugars and like candies, and I cut out cheese. Now this was so hard for me, but sugar and cheese will actually like sit on your stomach. So if you feel like your body has never gotten that hourglass figure, but you really love cheese and sugar, that might be a portion of why that's happening. And it's a lot harder to shrink your stomach when you're intaking a lot of sugars and a lot of cheese. So for me, replacing soda was easy. When I was younger, I really didn't drink soda. I do love juice, but I did have to pull back on that as well. So I replaced sodas with flavored teas. Green tea is actually a really good aid to weight loss. So I would drink tea without any additives. So I wouldn't add in like honey or sugar or anything like that. But there are actually a lot of really flavorful, tasty teas. I'll make sure that I put some in the description box below. And those teas definitely helped curb my appetite. When I wanted to drink something sweet, I might not have wanted to eat something sweet, but just that flavor definitely helped curb that appetite. Okay, so cheese is a hard one for me because if you know me, you know I love bread and cheese. So rather than replacing cheese per se, I started making things that didn't really require cheese. I think we throw cheese on a lot of foods, but if you try to maybe make foods that don't really require cheese, like rice, it's kind of weird to add cheese into that, if that makes sense. And that definitely helped me as far as cutting cheese out. And sweets were really hard for me because I love like candies and like little sugary things and all of that type of stuff. But sugar was like non-negotiable. Like I had to get it together. I'm honestly not gonna lie to you. There's not always an easy way out. There's not always gonna be a replacement, and sometimes you have to make a decision for your betterment. Okay, portioning and overindulging. This is a huge reason why sometimes we can maintain weight or sometimes we get really tired after a big meal. So what I did was I tried to be more intentional about my serving sizes. At that time in my life, I was eating big portions and I would overeat knowing that I was overeating or that it was too much, and then I might put it down and come back and eat some more. For me, I would do half of what I did before. It takes about 20 minutes for you to know if you're full or not. So sometimes when we're eating, especially when we're eating with people, we'll eat and get seconds and keep going, and then all of a sudden we're super full and super tired and we need to take a nap. So what I would do is I would put that smaller portion on my plate, I would eat it, and then I kind of decide if I wanted to eat again. Most times I wasn't actually hungry, so I just would be done. And keep in mind, it's okay to feel hungry. I mean, I can understand, being somebody who always gave in to my hunger to being somebody that couldn't give in to my hunger anymore. It was a point in time when I probably forgot what it felt like to really be hungry because I was eating all the time. But what I realized was sometimes that feeling of hunger is more so a filler. Just try not to give into the temptation right away. And if you keep resisting, it gets a lot easier as you go on. Snacking. So I made it a point to only buy food from the grocery store and only make all of my meals. So if I couldn't make it myself, I was not eating it. I did not need it. Since I started my journey in Nigeria, you know exactly where your food is coming from. You see it from start to finish. So everything is very organic and it's also really, really good. So I was probably eating way healthier in Nigeria than I probably had all of 2016 in America. And so I really started to think about like preservatives, and for food to sit on a shelf for weeks or months, it started to kind of bother me. At that point, I decided to stop investing in my detriment and start investing in my betterment. And foods that are fresher versus foods that are preserved are a little bit better for me anyway. And I knew that. We all know those things. The fruit or the veggie or the organic food is always going to be the better option. And another quick little tip that my mom taught me. So she's worked in the health department for probably my entire life. And she told me that if a food has more than 5 ingredients in it, then chances are you shouldn't eat it. For example, if you get, a container of pineapples, you might think that on the ingredients, all it says is pineapples, maybe some pineapple juice, maybe some water, and let's say some vitamins. So that's 4. In actuality, what you are seeing on that ingredients label does not always align with what you might assume you're buying. So make sure that you double check. Make sure that there's less than 5 ingredients on that ingredients list so that when you're buying something, you don't think you're buying something healthy and end up with something that has a lot of snuck-in preservatives in there. Tea. Tea was a huge part of my weight loss because it gave me the feeling of being full without gaining any weight. One of my favorite teas is actually flat tummy tea. And this is not a flat tummy tea ad, so this is my honest opinion. I've been using flat tummy tea kind of on and off since I want to say 2016. So this is a little bit before the major hype about it. And I've always loved it. It always helps with my bloating. So it's not going to make you go from 150 to 140. That's just not the case. You have to actually diet and exercise for that to happen. But what flat tummy tea does is that it shrinks your bloat, or it gets rid of your bloat. So naturally we bloat. You eat food and you bloat. That's very normal, especially for women. If I can just control the bloating a little bit, it's always very helpful. But flat tummy tea definitely helped with that. What I would do, whether I was drinking flat tummy tea or not, I would make sure that tea was the first thing I drank every morning. So if that's the first thing I drink in the morning, then I can't really eat anything until I've drank my tea. And that also kickstarts my metabolism faster or earlier than it would have had I, grabbed a donut in the morning. And then a little trick that I use, I will drink a detox tea on days when I feel like I just ate way too much or I overate and I didn't listen to my body. I would drink a detox tea, and I'll link the detox tea that I use below. And keep in mind with detox teas, everybody's body is different. If detox teas are not for you, do not drink them, or maybe drink it in moderation. Dilute the tea so that it's a little bit less of the contents that you're actually ingesting. Timing when you eat is critical. It's important to start your body off early. So if you eat something in the morning or you drink something in the morning, it gives your body a kickstart, so your body's waking up when you do. Therefore, your metabolism is also waking up at the same time. This is why they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So with timing, I also would eat somewhere between 1 and 5 times a day. It really just depended on how my day was going, and that involves snacks as well. So dinner was always my favorite part of the day because I love to cook myself some food and I like to try new things. Make all your own meals. It doesn't have to be McDonald's fries. You can definitely find a recipe to make some similar fries, and I'm sure they're gonna taste just as good. And also, eating several times a day kind of just wakes your metabolism back up, and make sure that they're good foods for you so your body is not only working and your metabolism is working, but you're also taking in vitamins and minerals and things that are good for you. And the last thing about timing is that I would not, absolutely not, eat past 9 p.m. No matter what I had planned for the day, 9 p.m. was my cutoff, and that worked for me in my schedule. It kind of made me slow down for the end of the day, and it would also kind of force me to go to bed a little bit early to make sure that you're still making good choices, like getting all the sleep that you need, not being tired, letting your body work the way it's supposed to work. And if I did absolutely need something to eat, I would usually reach for a fruit or a vegetable. That was the only exception, or some tea. I do love tea. So fruit, vegetable, or tea. Otherwise, 9 p.m. was my cutoff. Working out. So I actually really enjoy physical activity, but I hate starting it. So I made an intention to work out every day. Usually my intention is to work out every day, which is a little bit drastic for some people because working out every day kind of seems unrealistic, but that's for me. So if it's something different for you, make sure that you stick to whatever plan that is. So if you know that only 5 days work for you, stick to 5 days. So I make sure that I'm setting realistic goals, but working out every day for me while I was in school was realistic. I could fit it into my schedule really well. And on top of that, I had a gym in my building, so what's my excuse? It's open 24 hours. But realistically, I did skip some days, and that's okay. Skip days if you have to. Don't plan to skip a day, or don't go into a day saying, you know what, I'm not feeling too well, I think I'm just going to skip today. But if you absolutely can't do it, do not beat yourself up for it. Just make sure that you don't fall off completely because you missed a day. That's the biggest reason why I had to make sure that I went every single day, because I know if I miss Sunday, Monday rolls around and look, I'm tired. I'm not trying to go. So I knew every single day I had to go. And what I had to force myself to do was forgive myself for skipping a day or missing a day and hitting the gym again the next day. Because honestly, not achieving my goals was not an option. So what I did was I started with the 21-day challenge. I love 21-day challenges. If you reference my blog on AmakasAdvice.com, you'll be able to see how I broke up my workout. And I can also post another video about how I do my workouts, because I know that some people have asked me questions about that before. But my main focus was a 2-mile run every day. And the first person I worked out with when I came back to the States was like, okay, let's run 2 miles. And I was like, okay. But knowing I had never really done that before and then accomplishing it, I knew that every day after that I now have to run 2 miles because I did it. And I didn't back down, and I stepped up to the plate. So if I could do that 2 miles on Monday, I can do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've done it once, I can do it again. So for me, 2 miles was set in stone. It could take me 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. I was getting that 2 miles in. It didn't really take me more than an hour in the gym every day, but mostly because my running workout would take me about 30 minutes or so. My focus was the run. Running is how I was really going to get that weight off. I know it sucks and I know it's hard, and running has always been so hard for me. Oh my goodness. So once I finished my running workout, the rest of the workouts were more so just to stay toned, and that was it. So Monday legs, Tuesday arms, Wednesday legs, Thursday arms, and I would just switch off and then start it fresh for another week. That was all I was doing. It would take me realistically an hour depending on how slow I was, because some days I was tired. And once you get through that first week, it gets a lot easier. Life hacks. So on top of all that information, here are some little tricks and tips that might help you constantly engaging your abs. Okay, so while walking to class or, sitting at your desk, basically this is what I'll do. So you sit up straight, shoulders back, and basically you're engaging your abs. So you tighten your abs, count to 5, release your abs, count to 5, and then repeat that 5 times. So you basically tighten, release, tighten, release, and it's literally just like that. You could probably not even tell that I was tightening my abs, right? So if you do it and you don't tighten like really hard or like tighten up your face with it, it actually can be done very subtly. You can be in a meeting, you can be walking in class, like I said, you could be doing anything and you just think, oh, I haven't gone to the gym or I haven't worked out, let me just do something quick. So if you do this little ab trick, it's not going to give you abs. It definitely helps keep you toned. I know somebody that used to do them all the time and I never saw her without a 6-pack. Lemons. So I add lemons to my tea and my water, but I only add lemons to a certain kind of tea, and I'll tell you about that next. Adding lemons to your water can kind of also be a little trick to your metabolism, like, oh, I'm ingesting something that's not water, and it starts working, but it's just water and lemon. And there are actually a lot of health benefits with ingesting lemon. Lemon is very concentrated, so diluting it with water is definitely advised, and it's also a good way to help reduce bloating. Okay, so apple cider vinegar. I love apple cider vinegar. I use it for a lot of things. I use it for my hair, I use it for my skin, but for weight loss, it actually also helps. So I've actually told a couple of my friends about this, and I know I was actually talking to one of them earlier today, and he said that he's been drinking this apple cider vinegar tea, and it has been helping him. He actually just recently reached his weight loss goal, so shout out to him. It actually works, it's not just me. And I've definitely heard other people talk about this recipe, so trust me when I say this is not my recipe, but it definitely worked for me. Okay, so you add about a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and you just put it in a regular mug. And then you add, I would say 2-3 dashes of cayenne pepper. I'm usually a little bit heavy-handed with the cayenne pepper because the way that the recipe is, it kind of offsets the taste. And then I squeeze in a tiny wedge of lemon. I would say it's less than a quarter of the lemon. So if you cut it in half, you can cut it in half again. I would cut it in half one more time. And then I add the hot water. So I'll pour the hot water in until it's maybe like a centimeter from the top. And then I am a little bit heavy-handed with the honey because, like I said, I have a sweet tooth. So I usually do 2-3 pumps of honey. And then you just mix it up. I usually will leave the spoon in there because the ingredients will sometimes separate. You just kind of mix it up again to drink it, just to keep the flavor in there. And I drink this tea once or twice a day. Make sure that you drink plenty of water. Whenever you ingest apple cider vinegar, you need to drink a lot of water because it's acidic. It's highly acidic. Do not just take a shot of it or drink it on its own. It's just very, very strong. So I've done that before not knowing, and my throat was stuck. Like I couldn't talk for a good 30 seconds. I'll usually drink 2 bottles of water to 1 cup of apple cider vinegar tea, but it definitely helps a lot with reducing fat, with digestion, strengthening your metabolism. And I'll also put in the description bar what type of apple cider vinegar I use. And water! So I carry around, used to, it actually broke last week, but I used to carry around this 28-ounce water bottle. And I would try to fill it up about 2.5 times a day. And this definitely helps flush out bad food. So like I said, if you do have a cheat day or give in to a temptation or something like that, just make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. It definitely helps flush that stuff out. It makes sure that none of that bad food is sitting in on your stomach, just flushing it out and getting it out as soon as possible. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this message. I hope it was helpful. Let me see your transformations. Let me see your feedback. I want to hear about all of it. I'm so excited for this journey that you're about to take or that you might already be on. So keep me updated on your progress. And last but not least, so I am a Just Strong brand ambassador. I'm actually currently wearing the Just Strong tank top. You can kind of see. And Just Strong is basically all about breaking down that gender bias of she's just strong for a girl or she's not as strong as the guys. Well, Just Strong is here to tell you that that's not the case. Women are just strong. We're not just strong for a girl. So make sure you check out their website and use my coupon code AONWITHTOD10. I hope that you like what you see. So let me see what you guys get. Let me see how you feel about it. And I'll check back with you guys next time. And make sure that you check out my new website, AmakasAdvice.com. I'm really excited to share everything with you guys and start posting some new blogs. Make sure you like and share and subscribe. And I'll check back with you guys next time. Thanks for watching.